And we're live. But not really.
Hello! Welcome back to RCX Unwrapped. Here's everything we read in January. I forgot what month it was for a minute. January. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Tess outdid me again.
Well, it's been a long month, so...
January is the longest month of the year.
January and February. Rough. Anyways, should I go first?
You should.
Okay. First off, I read a lot of books by Mark Russell this month. So first off, I have Prez, which is... So it's about this girl, this corn dog girl. She goes viral for her video about corn dogs or whatever, and is accidentally elected president of the United States because of it. And it's... Mark Russell does a lot of like political commentary and such, so it was really interesting seeing his writing about like the government specifically and the presidential everything. It was kind of a lot to read actually, and I definitely did cry a little bit afterwards because I was like, oh no, everything is falling apart. But it was still really good, so you should still read it.
It's been so long since I read it, I probably couldn't even tell you anything.
It's very good. It's very good.
I read Chickenpox by Remy Lai, and this was a really nostalgic read for me because it took place in the early to mid 90s, and it was about Remy's family, and they all got chickenpox at the same time. So the main character is actually Abby, one of Remy's sisters, but it feels very autobiographical because of that experience. But yeah, they all get chickenpox at the same time, and they're stuck in their house, and they're trying to not itch, and they're going crazy. And it was just a really fun experience because I had chickenpox, but don't remember anything about it. But it doesn't really happen anymore, thankfully, because of medicine.
Yes.
Get your vaccines, kids. So it was fun and not fun because, you know, obviously chickenpox, and it tells you all the different stages.
Wow.
of chickenpox and just how the siblings survived being in the house together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a really fun read. I really liked it.
That. Yeah, I don't remember getting chickenpox either, but
yeah,
my mother
didn't.
said I have, so.
I was 2, so I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah, jeez.
But
sounds pretty awful.
It was a good time.
Next I read But You Have Friends by Emilia Mckenize. This one I thought I had never read before, but then I started reading it and I was like, oh, I've definitely read this one before. So it's about this, it's a tribute to a friend who has died is what it is. And it's the author recounting her favorite moments and the moments leading up to her friend passing away and the
Not
effect.
sad at all.
Yeah, honestly, it's definitely memoir adjacent. And it's just a really lovely tribute to like friendship, and you know, I'm a big fan of friendship. But yeah, it was very sad, but it's very sweet. So
yeah,
it's very good. It's very good.
You can keep on trucking.
Okay. Next I read Barnstormers.
This one's good.
Oh my god. This is amazing. Okay, so a barnstormer were pilots in the 1920s or 30s that flew around and did crazy tricks, right? And so there's this guy, and he is a barnstormer, and he goes places, and he's trying to get people to pay him for like doing the crazy flying thing. And then eventually he lands accidentally in the middle of a wedding, and it turns out the bride-to-be is very unhappy in her marriage, so they run off together. And it's freaking beautiful. The art is Tula Latte. Oh my god, I have to show you my favorite picture. But the whole here it is. I love it so unbelievably much. And yeah, it's basically it's them running from her husband at the time, and yeah, it's really, really, really good. I hate historical fiction with like a burning passion.
Wow.
Because I don't
Care.
yeah, it's true. But this one, the art was so pretty, and I love a little romp.
It's just a historical setting,
Exactly.
not necessarily like history's not thrown in your face.
Exactly. It wasn't trying to teach me anything. I don't want to learn. But yeah, it was really, 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 really good. Really good.
I agree. I read Gabby Torres Gets 1 Billion Followers by Angela Dominguez, and this was delightful because she doesn't actually get 1 billion followers, but she's trying to run a social media account, but her parents don't really want her to be on it by herself. And so it kind of teaches you a lesson here.
Oh my god.
The dangers of social media, but she's trying to use it for good by she's in a club called the Sea Musketeers, and they're trying to, like, you know, clean up the oceans and stuff like that. So she's using that for her club and trying to spread awareness about what they're doing and teach other people. So that was really cute. And the format reminded me a lot of Terry Livingston's books, where it's some random panels, but it's not always in graphic novel, like, traditional format. But it was adorable.
Aww.
I loved the little... But yeah, it teaches you about social media and why maybe kids shouldn't be on it and what can happen, but also the good that comes with it. So it was cute. She doesn't actually get 1 billion followers. She doesn't go viral. So. But yeah,
that's very
cute. Everything I read this month was very middle grade or YA.
I love that too. Next, I read this short little book, Rockstar and Softboy by Sina Grace. Their names are actually Rockstar and Softboy, and it's basically these two gay best friends, and they live together, and it's two very, like, stereotypical gay men, right? But the great part is they're not together, they just live together. So it's them going through their each, like, romantic interests and partners and all of this stuff, and then there's a crazy things happen, but it all gets resolved in the end, and they're still best friends. And like I say every single video, I just love friendship. So yeah.
And the gays.
I know! It was very, very cute. It's very short. But yes, we love. I'll keep going. I read Moonknight by Jeff Lemire. So this is so good. Oh my god, I lost my mind.
Did you?
Anyways, relatable. But so this is like it's Mark Spector's, like, what do we call it? A retelling of his origin, I guess. Or the first telling of his origin. I'm not really sure. So this one's gonna be hard because, like, so much stuff happened. If you don't know who Mark Spector and Moonknight is, he has, multiple personality disorder. So he's constantly fighting against which him is real and which him is...
In his head.
Yeah, exactly, in his head. And it's very much based in, like, Egyptian mythology, which I thought was very cool. I didn't realize that going into it, but that was an aspect I really enjoyed. And of course, I love that the art style changes whenever he kind of, like, changes personalities or is in that in-between state. So there's all of these different little storylines going on while the book is going on. It is very, 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 very good. It hurt my brain a whole lot, but it was...
More than Mr. Miracle?
This one hurt my brain in a different way. But yeah, this was very good.
You gotta watch the show now.
I do have to watch the show.
I read Super Boba Café by Nidhi Chanani, and it was cute. It was about Aria goes to stay with her auntie or her grandma.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Her grandma. And she's kind of running away from a social media crisis. This is like a trend. And so she's staying the summer with her grandma and helping her at her Boba Cafe. And I guess business isn't good, so they're trying to think of ways to like help. And of course, there's kitties involved, so they turn it into like a cat cafe. But then there's a big secret, and Grandma has to make Super Boba for a monster. And
oh my god, I love it.
there's a lot going on. There's also these really cute prairie dogs that are the monster's second favorite food. So it was a lot. But they're trying to figure out how to like feed the monster without like taxing themselves every day. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, you agree, Watson? Yeah, it was lots of boba, lots of kitties. There's a monster, and the monster is he kind of looks like a boba ball himself.
I love him.
So yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah, that's wild.
And if you don't feed the monster, it causes earthquakes.
I see.
So it was just a lot. And it's in San Francisco, so, you know, earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cute. I like their other books probably better. Pashmina and Jukebox. But it was cute. I'm going to say that a million times. Cute, cute, cute.
Adorable, adorable. Next, another feature from Mark Russell. I read his Flintstones books, which I read both of them in one sitting. It's absolutely amazing, and I never cared about the Flintstones before reading this. And so it's another like commentary on society and how we function and how some of the things we're currently very angry about are very stupid. There's a whole bit where they're trying to legalize marriage, and a lot of the other cavemen are upset because they should keep sex in the sex cave where it belongs. And there's like a support group for people who are married.
It sounds so ridiculous when you just say it plainly.
I know. It's insane. And then, like, gosh, every single issue was something different and wild and puts a lot of stuff into perspective. But yeah, I recommend both of them.
Recommend it.
Yes, please read these. It was such a joy, genuinely. I want to reread it. I'll go again. I read Crema. This is exactly what it looks like. It was a sweet little gay coffee shop story, except with ghosts. So the main character, Esme, she doesn't like to sleep. And so she drinks a lot of coffee, but when she drinks too much coffee, she sees ghosts. And so she's got like a friend ghost who follows her around and talks to her and whatnot. She works at a coffee shop, and when the owner, I guess, of the coffee shop comes into town to like check things out or sell it, right? And they end up falling in love, which is crazy. And then there's a bad ghost, of course, that like convinces them that he is an old family member, but he's not. He's a bad guy. And yeah, it's really, really pretty and very adorable. And yeah, you should read it. It's very, very good. It's also short, so
short's a win.
Love.
I read The Color of Earth by Kim Dong-hwa, and this is a first in a trilogy, but I found it in a little free library, and then Lena decided to eat it.
Yep.
But I probably won't be finishing the series, not because Lena ate my book, but because they're hard to find. They're out of print. And of course,
Lena decided to eat it.
She ruined this one. The art in it, first of all, is really, really pretty. Very detailed, like the scenery. But this is a coming of age story about this girl just maturing and all the different phases of her life. and it is banned, of
Oh,
course.
cool.
Because it talks about sex education and all the things.
Mhm.
But she asked a lot of questions to her mom about, you know, her growing up, and her mom doesn't give her straight answers. Everything's in riddles, and everything is a floral metaphor. So the floral metaphors were pretty, but I'm like, just tell her.
Yeah.
I was getting so frustrated. But it was a really beautiful book otherwise.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. And it's, I think, a historical fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in the olden days.
The olden days?
In rural Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And it is translated into English by Lauren Nah.
Very cool.
But yeah, coming of age, just, if you want to read a banned book that talks about sex education,
this is the one for you, if you can find it.
if you can find it. I'll let you borrow my battered copy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Tastes good.
Apparently so. Gosh. So next I read Robins, Being Robin by Tim Seeley. This book was the only reason I read this book was because someone came into Richmond Comics looking for one of the variant covers for it. And I'll show it here. Which did something to me. And I don't even like men. So it was okay. It was okay. I really, really like all of the Robins and I enjoy them together.
All of them?
Not all of them.
Let's be
I
honest.
really like Tim Drake and Dick Grayson. The rest,
Yeah.
but they all have their fun aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty cute. It's them all fighting together to like defeat or take down the original Robin. And it was kind of cool. I would have liked to see more of like a sibling relationship within them. I want to see the Bat family as a family really, really badly. But it was cute.
You just need to write some fanfic.
I just need to write some fan fiction. That's what I'm learning. I also read a lot of books by Mark Miller. This is Empress. Philip told me to read this one, and I was like, but I am very happy to tell you this is probably one of the greatest things I've read this month. So it's a sci-fi about this empress, and her husband's a terrible person, so she and her kids flee. And a lot of crazy stuff happens. There's a lot of fun monsters, and a really, like, the cast of characters is just brilliant. I love all of them so much. I actually think my dog peed on this one. Yeah, sorry about that. And yeah, it's just really, really good. And the end is just, it's perfect. She, like, God, I love powerful women.
That's what that book is.
It's very, very, very good. And it ends on kind of like a cliffhanger, but there's no more. Just FYI. So if you pick it up and you think, oh, there's more, there isn't. There isn't any more.
What do you smell?
It's my roommate's dog, is what you smell. Disgusting. Put that one over here.
You can clean it.
I know, I'll just take a paper towel when I get home. I've also read a lot of by Brian K. Vaughan. Is that how you say it?
Vaughan, I think.
Vaughan. So I read Why the Last Man. This is the first volume. So basically, all the men in the whole world die, and only women are left over. And all like the animals too. So there's no male animals. There's no male anything except for this guy Yorick and his monkey Ampersand. And somehow Yorick ends up being annoying enough to make up for the entire male population. Like, honestly, they could have chosen anybody else. I mean, it makes sense. And it was also written in the early 2000s, so it's a little bit dated.
It's fine.
But it's a really interesting storyline, and I'm very much looking forward to reading the rest. So I've been told it's supposed to make me cry, and I'm pretty excited about that. So
excited about crying. I read Dreamover by Diaz, and this one was beautiful. The first part was very nostalgic for me. I think it takes place in the early 2000s. But this group of friends and their cohort go on a field trip to the beach at the end of 8th grade. It's like their 8th grade trip or something. But they're sitting in the back of the bus, like, waving to people and getting them to honk and stuff. And I was like, I did that. And then they play The Floor is Lava. Like, there's so much fun. But basically, two of the friends have feelings for each other. And they tell each other, and it's mutual. So then they start dating. And then... Cyclone. They start dating and they kind of isolate their other friends in the group. So that's kind of part 2. How they're spending all their time with each other, not their friends. And then the main character, oh my gosh, what's her name? Amber. She's like, I don't want this to end. So they're hanging out, watching a movie or whatever, and they fall asleep. And then they like wake up in this dream-like state. And then she really doesn't want that to end, because that's my favorite part of the book. The dream sequences are all very, very pretty. And then they realize, like, hey, we need to wake up. They learned a lot about themselves and each other, and we need to maybe take a break and rekindle our friendships before we, like, figure out what we're gonna do with each other. But yeah, my favorite parts were the dream sequences. They're just really, really beautiful and colorful, and it's a new love, new relationship, and a friendship story. And nostalgic. Like, I just love the TV and stuff.
That's so cool.
You need to finish this.
Yeah, I read half of it. So yeah, very good. I'll be taking that one home. I promise I won't let my dog pee on it. Next, I read the first 2 volumes of Batman Urban Legends. It was pretty decent. I really enjoy the short story aspect of it all, because I feel like there are so many characters in the universe. And this one, these are great for just giving you a little bit of a peek into, like, the different characters and whatnot, and introducing you to them, especially for people like me who don't know a whole lot about, you know, the history behind all of them. So it was really cool to get to know the characters and whatnot. A couple of the stories were definitely not as good as others, but I did enjoy the majority of them. So,
yeah. Your favorite character?
I don't know, honestly. Probably Batwoman. I do love her. And I enjoyed the Tim Drake story, but then I went on Reddit and I looked.
Why?
I know. It was my own fault. And there were so many people criticizing it, and I was like, I don't know.
I need to ban you and Tommy from Reddit.
Yeah. So it was still a very cute story. But yeah. Very good. Very good. And then last, I read this first chunk of Saga. It is exactly what it says. It is an epic saga, starting from before, I guess, the main character is born, and she is sort of narrating her parents' lives as she's growing up. And it's very cool. It's very spacey. Her parents are 2 races that don't get along very well, so their love is, like, definitely forbidden. And it's interesting, those aspects, and when they come into contact with other people they know, and yeah, it was pretty good. I look forward to reading the rest of it. I pulled the rest of it out of a little free library. So
really?
I know. Somebody put all of Saga into Barnaby.
Are you serious?
Yes. And then there's
all the
this
hardcovers?
Not the hardcovers.
Oh,
this
Jesus.
one is my roommate's. Sorry. No. It was the soft ones. So I took everything except for the ones in this. And then there's a very beautiful woman named Gwendolyn. Look at her.
Let me see.
So pretty.
Oh, I love it.
Look at her.
I kind of refuse to read it. Kind of.
Yeah.
not my thing.
That's valid. That's valid. There are so many different characters, and it felt really overwhelming at first, but I feel like once you get to know the characters further down the line, I will appreciate this more. I feel like it's going to be a good one to, like, sit with for a while, since it's still going.
Yeah,
like, it hasn't ended yet. And yeah, it was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And then,
Very good. We both read
Mixed Up.
It's by Cami Garcia and Brittney Williams, and I would like to note the letterer should get a shout out, Tyler Smith, because that's very important in this book.
Yes.
But this is about Stella, who is based on Cami's daughter Stella and her experience with dyslexia.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know she has dyslexia, so it's the process of getting diagnosed and why she's falling behind, and she's embarrassed about it and won't tell her friends. I love the aspects of her trying to figure it out, and the doctors or the like the speech therapist or whatever she's called, and that process, learning about that process was really cool. But the font used is called Dyslexie, and it's a dyslexia friendly font because of the spacing and random bold letters. So the font is very important in this book too.
Yes. And the words are easy to read as well. Cami Garcia wrote it to using words that are easy for people with dyslexia to pick up.
Yeah. What are they called? They're called something. I don't know. There's a word for it. But also there's a video game called Witchlands that her and her friends play, and that's kind of how she gets behind because she can't read the guidebook to figure out how to get further along in the game. And so she feels like her friends are leaving her behind, and she just wants to play the game. And oh, the best part is her comic.
Yes!
Do you want to talk about it?
You do it.
Okay. So there is a writing challenge in her class, and she submits a graphic novel for hers, and she's the only one to do so. And I love the incorporation of her graphic novel in here. It's basically, you know, talking about her experience with her friends. And it's so cute. Her experience with her friends in the game and how she's different. And she shows that by, like, she can't fly on the broom or like can't read the certain words. So that was really cool concept and how that overlapped. And I think that's kind of how she came to grips with it, and that's how she told her friends what was going on. Like, here, read my graphic novel and this will explain everything you need to know.
I love that.
It was really well done.
No, it was really, 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 really wonderful. I have read a lot of adult books this month, so taking a break and reading something that is meant for middle grade or isn't all ages book, it was really healing.
Yeah. And this one was so great.
Yeah.
So great. I love Brittney Williams' art. She did Goldie Vance and oh my gosh, the Alicia Keys graphic novel. They did some other things that I can't think of right now, but their art is wonderful, and Cami Garcia is becoming
a must-read,
a great graphic novelist. I haven't read any of her regular books.
Yeah. Nor have I.
And she also drew herself, or she didn't draw, Brittney did, but the teacher looks just like Cami, and I thought that was fun. I love this book so much.
It's so good. It was so good.
So,
all right.
You should read it.
Yes, please read it.
What was your favorite?
I don't know. Probably Empress.
Probably.
Or Barnstormers, actually. I don't know. Probably Barnstormers.
I think Mixed Up was mine.
Yes. So good. So good.
My least favorite was this one.
You know, I get that. I think,
but I still liked it.
Of course, you read it. You took the time. You didn't not.
My second favorite was between these two. And these two are good. Everything I read was good.
Pretty decent.
All good.
I will say, I think, and I read a lot of good stuff this month, so
Yeah,
when
you
I
did.
say this, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I think the Robbins book was my least favorite, just because I wanted it to be something it was not.
That's a
So
personal
it's
expectation.
a personal expectation that,
That's completely valid.
exactly,
Though.
it's still like a 4-star read.
But I'm gonna give this to you.
Thank
You're gonna
you, thank
finish
you.
it.
I'm
So we're
gonna
gonna talk
finish it.
about this again next month.
Next month!
Alright, that is all.
Alright, that
You
is
say bye, Watson.
Goodbye!
We'll see you next time.